Hello everyone, this is Lydia. So I just did a quick tutorial on a flap mini album and I posted the video. Let me know if it was a hot mess and I will redo it. So this is the finished completed mini, and on hers she barely embellished it, and I tend to over embellish my albums. You know me, I like to chunkify my minis. So the next time I do this, I would probably make my score lines a bit larger, but it's okay. And I would have preferred to use my bind-it-all, but I went with rings. I don't know why, but I used rings. And once you assemble your album, you want to make sure that you add all of your background pages before you bind your mini. So for my closure, I used this ribbon by American Crafts. It's like a brown twine, and I don't recommend it because after opening and closing my mini several times, the ribbon broke. So I'm going to be removing this ribbon and adding some baker's twine, most likely in red and white. I'm not sure yet, or maybe green and white, because I think it's going to be sturdier. It's going to give it a better hold. So what I did was I just added some, I didn't over embellish here on the binder rings. I just added this pretty brown ribbon that has Christmas trees. I added this green with white polka dot sheer ribbon, and then I added this pretty sparkly ribbon that my sister sent me in a rack and goes well with the papers. Now for the papers, I used scraps. I ran out of Christmas paper, so I just used what I had in my stash, and it already had this word on here, Joy, so that's the title of the mini. Up here I used my last bit of Meyer Road trim, and I added a bit of silver stickles. And then that's a Tim Holtz piece that Karen sent me in a rack last year. And then I have a wood veneer doily here that Stephanie Vintage Paper Girl sent me. Thank you, Stephanie and Karen. So let me undo this. I can show you how I did the eyelet on the flap. So like I said, I'm going to replace this because I broke it. So here's the flap. And on the Ustream video that I watched, she used a tiny eyelet, but I went with the We Are Memory Keepers larger eyelet. And all I did was I went inside with my, what's it called, the crocodile? And I punched the hole, and then I set my eyelet. And I did add a button there and then tied a knot to keep the ribbon in place. Okay, so that's how you do that portion, and then you add your ribbon, and I wound it about 4 times. And then on the flap here, if you don't have paper flowers, you can add like a row of bloomers or maybe some handmade flowers. There's tons of tutorials on eBay, on YouTube on how to make some handmade flowers. So that's another option for you there. And then I just added some crochet trim here on the edge, and I added a key. So let me show you the inside quickly. This is a pocket page, and that's a printable. Luisa Diaz, I was watching one of her videos and she had a link, and they had these printable tickets. That's where I got that from. And then I just have a Martha Stewart butterfly, some trim from the Paper Bag Lady, a bloomer, and then those cute little, it's that Kane Company that I showed you from my, my haul. Oh, come on, focus. And then inside, you can add a photo back there. This is an EK Success Punch. And I just cut a strip up there. And this is an old, I got this in the mail last year from my mail carrier. It's a postcard. An old Christmas card. And I just like the image, so I'm recycling that. Oh, sorry ladies, I'm in a fuzz today with my cold. And then here's just a little paper bag, and I added some music note. I used a lot of vintage music note paper to supplement the papers because I didn't have enough. And I just have some ribbon up here, and I stamped Noel. This is from the $1.50 spot at Michael's. So that goes in there. Great spot for journaling. So here's flap, the first flap here, and I just added some background paper, music note paper. Here's the other half of the wood veneer. and some more tiny bloomers. And then this is from the $1.50 Michael spot, this little journaling spot here. And these are Prima's from the Londonary collection, and I added a flat back pearl. Then on the other side of the flap, I just added some red ribbon, and this is some tinsel that I just purchased from Michael's, some tinsel trim. And then I have this flower here and a button. This piece says Dear Santa. Here's the second page, and this one I made like a little flip up so you can get a photo there, and a photo here. And then I just glued the sides here so I can get in a tag. This is this clock is from Graphic 45's Nutcracker Suite. Flatback pearl, I stamped, that's a Stampin' Up! Stamp. And I just added some designer paper, and then here's another spot for more photos. And here I used the bottle cap, some more trim from Julie the Paper Bag Lady. I added this cute little image there of a tree, and I added some glitter before my what is this that I used? Glossy Accents dried. I added the glitter in there before it dried. And then here's a little paper flower that I created with Martha Stewart punch, and I added a red button. And I have some trim on the edge here. And here's the next page. I love this paper. I just received these from Misha. I won her challenge giveaway, and she sent me some papers. Do I have it laying around here? I don't see it. I am not prepared. But if you want to know what paper it is, let me know. It's very pretty. So I added some there. I think it's Making Memories something. Here's another K & Company piece with a vintage image, and there's a $1.50 spot poinsettia, vintage button. I just fussy cut this from the collection. These are my two favorite pages. Okay, on this one I just used one of these journaling tags, Home for the Holidays by Recollections, and I just put it this way to form a little pocket. Here's my music note paper, vintage music note paper postcard that I received in a rack from Karen. On this tag I embossed these ornaments with some Lindy's, and that ornament stamp came from the $1.50 spot at Michael's. I just picked that up. And then here's another cute little image, snowflake, a little bit of Tim Holtz, what is this, film strip, and a poinsettia. I didn't put anything. There are pockets on like this opens up and you can add notes and stuff in there. I didn't put anything in there. Okay, this is an envelope that I stuck in here, which I probably shouldn't have because it made my book too thick. And I took it out, but then decided to leave it in because I love it. So there's the front of the envelope, the one I just showed you, and then here's the back side of the envelope. And I just added some more trim from the Paper Bag Lady, Paper Bag Lady 1, Julie here on YouTube. Green poinsettia, this pretty image from some leftover paper that I have, and then some music note paper here that I tore on the edges. And then this, and here I stamped the cardinal. That's an Inka-Dinka-Doo stamp, and there's some more paper. So you can add more photos in there or journal. Oh, sorry, ladies. And let's see what's next. Okay, on this one I just added one of those little tiny paper bags, and I added some paper on top of it, and I added another one of those snowflake vintage image and bellies. I have some crinkle seam binding here, and here's another tag, and the snowman is Inka-Dinka-Doo. And I added some paper there, and then you can add a photo back there, and you could also add photos here and or journal. That's what I did with that one. On my next page, I did like a side pocket page. Normally I would add like trim or lace on the corner here, but I was trying not to make it too bulky. So again, trim from Julie the Paper Bag Lady 1. Here's another one of those cute little stars with the image of the little girl. This is a Graphic 45 piece. I added a tiny black button there. and added some twine. I did use the vintage music note paper as a background on here. And then here's another recollections tag for journaling, and I just added some lace. And then I added this piece here for more photos and or journaling. So that's that. Here's another flap, and on this one I used this little plate that I received direct from Karen. Thank you, Karen. I think that's a Tim Holtz die, and another poinsettia from the $1.50 spot. Another tag from Recollections, says Joy, and I added some seam binding in green. I received the seam binding from my sis. Thank you, sis. And then on this side of the flap I added some more pretty trim. It has this pearl center in it. Another one of the stars with the vintage images, and another printable, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And then on this one I left it blank because the paper's so beautiful, and I just added this little piece here that says all is calm, all is bright. You can tuck a photo back there, and then there's the back of the mini. I still have to stamp it and sign it. Okay, ladies, that is my completed flap paper bag album. Thanks for watching, everyone. Post the comments if you wish, and have a fabulous day. Bye.